Hello, the internet. It's the 14th of July today, which means it's 11 years since my mother Alethea sadly died. And for everybody that knew her, I hope you'll join me in commemorating her death and with the greatest of respect, honouring her life. But I won't give any more bullshit kind of misery guts, bereavement shit about that because all it does is just works me up into a sort of cyclopean frenzy of rage and discontent. Doesn't really help anybody at all. Made me think, death makes you think about religion, doesn't it? Makes you think about the kind of things that we ask ourselves, is there an afterlife, and is there a kind of like meaning to all of it, and is there kind of a recompense where if you do something bad, then you'll get something bad back, or is there just a kind of like a amorphous load of qubits holographically representing this projected, illuminated reality that we live in a narrow spectrum of the visible light spectrum? Who knows? Send me an answer on a postcard. I just asked Gemini a question about race. It says, if Jesus of Nazareth was born in Bethlehem, why is he so often portrayed as being white in Western artistic depictions? From what I've read and heard from people's opinion, racial discrimination and racial profiling has played a part in presentation of a man who should have had a darker complexion to increase appeal to a specific racist demographic. Why is it that Jesus is so often portrayed as being white? I don't believe in Jesus, just for the record. The portrayal of Jesus as white in Western artistic depictions, despite his Middle Eastern origins, is a complex phenomenon with several historical and cultural roots. Artists depicting what they know. For centuries, particularly starting in the Middle Ages and during the Renaissance, European artists naturally depicted biblical figures, including Jesus, with features common to their own populations. There were no photographs or detailed biblical descriptions of Jesus' appearance, so artists relied on their own cultural context. This meant portraying him with lighter skin, hair, and eye colours typical of Europeans. Cultural assimilation and universality. As Christianity spread beyond its Middle Eastern birthplace, different cultures adapted the imagery of Jesus to resonate with their local populations. In Ethiopia, Jesus is often depicted with darker skin. In Asian cultures, he may appear with East Asian features. The portrayal of Jesus in a familiar form helped make the religion more relatable and accessible to new converts. However, the influence of European power and colonialism significantly amplified the white Jesus image globally. Colonialism and missionary work with European exploration, trade and colonialisation, particularly from the 16th century onwards, European images of a white Jesus were disseminated worldwide. Missionaries often brought these depictions with them, establishing art schools that taught Christian art in a European style. In some colonial contexts, the image of a white Jesus was also used to reinforce existing social hierarchies, placing white Europeans at the top. Mass media and popular culture. In more recent history, particularly since the 20th century, the proliferation of popular images like Warner Salmon's Head of Christ 1940, which depicts Jesus with light skin, blue eyes and light brown hair, cemented his image in the minds of many in the Western world and beyond. Movies and television further popularised this portrayal. Distance from Jewishness. Some historical movements, including anti-Semitic forces, attempt to divorce Jesus from his Jewish heritage. Portraying him with European features could serve to de-emphasise his Semitic identity. That's a bit controversial, isn't it? Regarding the likelihood, historically, of Jesus' appearance, scholars widely agree that Jesus, as a first-century Jew from Galilee, would have had a Middle Eastern appearance. This would likely include olive-coloured skin, dark brown to black hair and dark eyes, similar to people in the Levant region today. Forensic reconstructions based on ancient skulls from the region also support this understanding. The evolution of Jesus' portrayal highlights how religious imagery can be influenced by cultural context, artistic traditions, and broader historical and political forces. While the theological message of Jesus is often understood as universal and transcending race, his artistic depiction is often mirrored the dominant culture of the artists and societies producing the images. I'm not really very sprightly today. I didn't sleep very well last night. I haven't slept very well for the last 7 months. I wake up during the night, and I guess thinking that people might have a racial agenda, or that people I've read about these kind of rape gangs, and a lot of them kind of it's said, or I've read, or people have said to me, you know, that they like confirmed to me that they do the things they do sometimes with a racial agenda behind it. And I know that's a massive leap from whether Jesus was white in paintings to whether people are getting gang raped more because they're white by black males is like a ridiculous, you know, abstraction, and they're not really connected. But that is what I'm talking about now, and I've said it, I can't unsay it. And I've had a lot of people who've spoken to me, you know, over the last kind of couple of months, the last year, have said like, yeah, like it is slightly racially motivated. Like, you know, like people who, you know, white girls who get gang raped by black men, sometimes it is racially motivated, and they've made no secret of that, you know what I mean? And I think that's just something to be really ashamed of. But I hope you're all good.